toilet, and you like it. You play ball like a girl. What did you say? You heard me.
What is going on, movie lovers and bud smokers, and welcome back to another episode of 5 on It. We are your hosts. I am Francisco.
And I'm Sir Frazier.
And on today's episode is another ranking special. We started off doing the best of the 2020 so far. And on today's episode is super fun. We are covering the best of the 90s.
Timmy, what is it? It's a velociraptor. It's inside.
But before we dive into all that, don't forget to subscribe, like, share, comment some of your favorite movies from the 90s below. Maybe even some of your worst movies from the 90s. Because there's some highs, but there's also some lows. Maybe we should have added some of those, some of our worst movies of the 90s.
Oh boy.
Maybe we should have threw like one of those in there just for like a little jab. But before we dive any further into those rankings, Sir Frazier, tell the people what we're smoking on.
Man, we're hitting the Maui 49. It's a nice infused sativa from Rip City Dabs. Ooh,
Rip
man.
City!
Rip City.
That reminds me of Dane when he said that. You remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Rip City! Yeah, I don't think I was in New York at that time.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, when we beat the Thunder.
Oh, man. The 90s. Man, this list was so fucking difficult. There's so many movies on here that I'm like, it's one of those lists, with the exception of a few movies that are pretty fixed. This list, I could continuously refine this list for days.
I mean, if somebody said the 90s, if you're talking like best decades, if you said the 90s up against the 80s, the 70s, even the 2000s, the 2010s, 22, whatever, the 90s is easily probably like one of the top dogs in that race.
I think it's easily top two. I think arguably. Oh man, the 70s I would probably say has the equal argument or as good of argument as the number one spot. 2010s were really good.
Yeah.
2020 so far have been fucking great, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, the 90s and the 70s, I mean, are kind of, at least in terms of most people I talk to, I mean, a lot of them, I don't think, a lot of them have really, like, some of their favorite movies are usually in those decades.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some OG ones that I do appreciate from earlier times, but they're not represented to the same degree on my, like, all-time lists.
Mm-hmm. And then, and even when I think you're talking about the 90s, even nowadays, you're talking about some of the all-time greats. Because even like a movie like Shawshank Redemption, well, I'm not sure what year that was released exactly.
94.
But it's not on my list, unfortunately. I mean, it is one of the best movies ever made, but it's not one of my favorites. But even like a movie like that, there's just like, God, there's just like some of the all-time hitters are coming out of the 90s.
Yeah.
And so it's a lot to get through. There's so many movies that you have to even cut from the list. But when you're making some of like your favorites of like this era, I gotta take in like some nostalgia factor, rewatchability, actual like how good the movie is, and just try to weigh all the options. But like I remember putting this list together, and I'm just like, let me just put a note to each movie that I just like. And before I was even halfway done with the damn decade, before I'm like, okay, I gotta like maybe rearrange some things because there's just so many good movies in the 90s, man.
Well, I mean, the tough thing too is that this movie is rich genre-wise as well. I mean, you've got sci-fi movies, you've got rom-coms, you've got coming of age, you have a really great wave of, you know, black directors and black-centered stories that are just phenomenal. And then you have really great sports dramas. I think, you know, before we even touch on our honorable mentions, Disney was so prolific. This was a really great era to be a kid because not only was there great TV, as far as Nickelodeon, just for one example, but also on the movie side, you had fun stuff that had kind of spinned out of television, like Good Burger. So I mean, you had some significant lows, to be fair. But I mean, even going back to, I think, to just the start of the decade, I mean, we had Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which we reviewed, and House Party, which we also renewed. Two like extremely successful indie movies that are iconic and loved by, and still loved to this day. Yeah. But Disney, man. I mean, where do we begin? I mean, there's so many great Disney movies.
Dude, I even put on here, like, they're not on my honorable mention, but like I was like Toy Story, Aladdin. I'm like, even you mentioned TMA 2, like The Secret of the Ooze. I'm like, bro, those are like just like some classic movies, and like they're very well made. They're excellent movies. Well, especially Toy Story and like Aladdin, but it's like, these are still
started Pixar.
These are all-time greats, and unfortunately, they don't make the cut. But still got to show them some love, because I mean, these movies are some of the best movies ever made.
Yeah, some of the best animation movies. Like, to me, still to this day, one of my favorite Batman movies is Batman: Mask of the Phantasm. That's an incredible movie, man, with Kevin Conroy, Mark Hamill as the Joker. I mean, dude, it's such a great movie. Man, but that didn't serve on my list.
Man, they had I mean, this isn't part of the 90s real quick, but I just saw like a short with they had Kevin Conroy doing a live action Batman, and like I think it was one of the CW, maybe one of the Arrowverse shows or something like that. But just seeing Kevin Conroy like come back, even coming in a live action version and playing Batman, man, it's fucking
Just
awesome.
Rest in peace, man.
Because Massive Phantasm, I kind of got on that a little bit late. I started to like get on a kick of some DC animated, and I was like, let me check out this, because I looked at Batman rankings, and Mask of Phantasm is always towards the top. And after watching, I'm like, rightfully so.
Yeah, it's dark too. It's a dark kids movie.
Dude, some other movies like quickly that just give them some love real quick. Man, Heat, Matrix, Blade, Bad Boys, The Mask with Jim Carrey. Bro, those are all just some banger movies. I've seen these movies endlessly. And unfortunately, they don't make the list, but give them a little bit of love.
I mean, yeah, speaking of movies to really give love to, I mean, The Usual Suspects. My God, that was really tough. The Big Lebowski.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, man.
7, original Bad Boys, like Braveheart. I mean, there's so many just fucking heaters. Friday, Clueless. God. Friday, Clueless. God damn it. There's so many great movies, but dude, let's jump into the honorable mention before we talk about the entire year by year. Y'all kick us off. Sure. This one, man, getting this out the way real quick. The Sandlot dropped in 1993. Directed by David Evans. This movie stars Tom Gurry, Mike Vitar, Patrick Renna, just to name a few. Of course, the legendary James Earl Jones. This is such an iconic sports movie. It's so much fun. Oh yeah. It's highly rewatchable. It's really a summer vacation flick told from the POV of a new kid who is really more of a loner. He's kind of more of a academic oriented. He's kind of a geek, and he befriends some of the neighborhood kids, and lo and behold, they end up fucking losing his stepdad's baseball signed by Baby Ruth.
Yeah. I thought you said the great Bambi.
Yo, oh my God, man! And then there's just so many fun scenes, like when they're at the carnival, and they all take the chew, and then they get on the one of the rides that spins you, and they vomiting like while they're on there. Like that. Yeah. Oh my God, like horrific.
I totally forgot about that scene too.
Tequila.
I think that's kind of a low key moment a bit, because I think a lot of people think of maybe even like the pool scene.
Oh yeah, well of course, yeah.
Or obviously just like any moment, or like you play ball like a girl.
Forever.
Explaining the Beast. When he's like, I think I wet my sleeping bag. And he's like, I used to have the same problem. For the cast of characters.
Oh, the kid's awesome. Like, yeah. The Colossus of Clout. The Colossus of Clout. The Sultan of SWAT.
The Sultan of SWAT.
Oh my God,
I
man!
You said the Great Bambi.
Yo,
that wimpy deer.
Dude, this movie is just so much fun. Love it. I wanted to give a shout out to a kids movie during this era, even though because I knew that there weren't going to be highly represented. And yeah, that was one of those I just had to kind of call out.
Well, don't you worry, because once we get to my top 5, I got 2 kids movies that I'm gonna, so we are going to spread the love around plenty, my friend. So my first honorable mention, we are going with Scream.
Ooh.
Came out in 1996, directed by Wes Craven, starring Neve Campbell, Courtney Cox, David Arquette, Skeet Ulrich, Drew Barrymore, Matthew Lillard, amongst others. This movie is just awesome, all in all. If you love horror, it's kind of like breaking that fourth wall in a way. You're just getting an inside look of maybe not inside look, but you're just kind of like seeing horror done in just a different way.
Yeah, and
Are you passing that?
Yeah, for sure. It feels like I don't know if this is. I'm sure this has been said, right? But it kind of feels like a postmodern horror because it's a movie that's very, very self-aware of the legacy of slashers and the history of horror within that subgenre. And yeah, it's very, very kind of winking at you, whether it's Jamie Kennedy's character who's breaking down the rules that we all kind of have witnessed if you're a fan of these franchises. And yeah, don't say I'll be back. I'll be right back.
They're playing on all the horror movie tropes that's out there, and they're doing it in such like a cool way. I'm such a huge fan of Wes Craven. Nightmare on Elm Street is probably maybe my favorite horror movie of all time. And so like him coming out with Scream, he kind of did this in a way with another Freddy Krueger movie with New Nightmare, when they're playing with like the horror tropes and breaking the fourth wall in a way. But he does it so much better with this with Scream. The cast is great. The kills is awesome. It's set up now one of like the best horror franchises. When you look at horror franchises, there's a lot of misses amongst everybody. Even Freddy, Chucky, Jason, Michael Myers. When you look at like those horror icons, there's always like some shit thrown in there somewhere. But Scream, I would say, I think they've done 6 movies now. I say all 6 are definitely like all decent in any way, shape, or form. Like, I don't think any of them is like dog shit or terrible. If somebody wanted to watch like a Scream marathon, I definitely wouldn't bat an eye at that, because like any other the horror icons, even like Pinhead, Candyman, stuff like that.
I wasn't a big Hellraiser fan.
No, it's like, some of the kills are kind of like just wild and crazy, but the stories are just horrific to get through. And so like with Scream, you're getting some good stories, you're getting some good kills, good acting. There's some fun with to be had, especially with Jamie Kennedy. Unfortunately, when he dies in the second one, that hit the heart a little bit.
That was a bummer.
He was one of my favorite characters. And they're definitely I would say this franchise has its up and downs. I didn't agree with like even some of the recasting or some of how the cast got did dirty with the chick in the more recent Scream movies. She kind of got fired. Well, not Jenna Ortega, the girl that played her sister.
Oh,
she like made some posts, and so like they got rid of her, and then Jenna Ortega, she left, and then the cast that played the twins, I think they left, and so now they're kind of bringing back like the old cast. So they're kind of on a little bit of a shaky ground. So we'll see what they go with the 7th movie. Even they said like David Arquette's coming back, even though he somehow got killed. I don't mind him dying, but like the way he died in that movie was so fucking weird. But even though that's a different Scream movie, but this original Scream, 1996, is definitely a horror icon movie. One of the best movies of 1996, or not 96, but just of the 90s in general. Definitely for me. So that is my number 1 honorable mention, man.
For sure.
Are we doing 1 honorable mention or 2?
2. We do 2, yeah.
Oh, snap.
So my second honorable mention is La Haine, dropped in 1995. It's directed by Matthew Kasovitz. For those of you who haven't seen this, it's a beautiful movie shot in black and white. 24 and the summary is that 24 hours in the lives of 3 young men in the French suburbs the day after a violent riot. These suburbs are kind of, in Paris are basically the ghettos, and it's told from the perspective of 3 immigrants, an Arab, an African, and a Eastern European Jew. And it's This is a terrific movie. I mean, it's pretty gritty. It's kind of looking at just the racial tensions and the socioeconomic kind of factors that are kind of driving the alienation of these young men from just society, French society at that time. It very much kind of I would put this in a kind of category as like similar to like a Boys in the Hood. Excellent drama, beautifully shot, incredibly well acted. It's a beautiful movie, man. Highly recommend it.
Well, I missed the title of this movie.
La Haine. It's called The Hate. It's like The Hate You Give. But yeah, that's what it's called, La Haine.
Okay.
Really, probably the biggest actor that maybe you or some of the folks might recognize is Vincent Cassel. He's been in a lot of movies. He was in the Ocean's 12, 13, Eastern Promises, Black Swan. So he's been around for a while, but yeah, definitely check this one out. What about you, man? What you got?
For my second, I didn't know. For some reason, I thought we were just doing one honorable mention. I guess that's just the bud in me. But for my second honorable mention, I'm going with another movie that got released in 1996, Fargo.
Ooh, Coen Brothers.
It's directed by Joel Coen, starring Frances McDermott, Steve Buscemi. Right? Yeah, but like, have you seen? A quick side note: have you seen The Studio on Apple TV recently? It's with Seth Rogen, and it's about like he just overtakes. He's like a movie lover as well, but he now is in charge of a studio, and it's like him trying to get a movie planned. And one of the movies that he's getting is with Steve Buscemi, but the way he says his last name is like we were all mispronouncing it this whole time. It's like Buscemi or Buscemi. I'm not sure. But like on that show, like I know he comes out and he's just like, "Oh, Steve Buscemi." He's like Buscemi. And I was like, oh, is that how you say his last name? Huh. I had fucking no idea.
I had no idea either.
Yeah. But Steve Buscemi or Buscemi, however you pronounce it, William H. Macy, Peter Stormare, if that's how you pronounce his name, John Carroll Lynch. This movie, I saw this kind of even at a younger age, but this movie had such an impact. This story is like pretty crazy. And it's like, they say it's loosely based on a true story, which I don't really dive too deep into it if it's actually based on a true story or not. But the story about the William H. Macy's character just hires these guys to like kidnap his wife in order like to get some money out of a rich dad, and it just spirals out of control from there. Frances McDermott plays the sheriff of Minneapolis. Sheriff. Yeah, pregnant sheriff, and she's actually I'm not sure she's the sheriff or just a cop in general. I can't quite top of my head. Right, but she's just pregnant woman going through town, Minnesota, yeah, in that fucking weather, the accent. Man, she's awesome as an actress. I wanted to go and watch that movie that she was in more recently, the Billboards in Missouri.
Oh yeah,
whatever that movie is called.
Too long of a title.
yeah. I'm not a fan of that title at all. But this movie is awesome. It definitely, if you're looking into something that's gonna like a story that's definitely spirals out of control, a little bit on the crime side, and if you're a big fan of William H. Macy as well, because this dude, I don't know, is one of his best performances.
This character kills me,
dude. And I always think of too is Fargo and his character in Boogie Nights. And, he
also a great movie from the 90s.
yeah, really. And his character in that movie takes it a little bit of a tragic end. But Fargo, 1996.
Hell yeah! Oh, my wife's fucking some guy in the driveway.
God, and the wife just bitches at him like, "What are you doing?
You're embarrassing me." Here. I was like, "Yo!"
Like, oh my! Did he kill her and himself?
Yeah.
Oh, murder suicide. Yeah. But Fargo, 1996. That is my second honorable mention. Check it out if you have not.
All right, man. Well, we're in our favorite. 5 favorite movies in the 90s. Not necessarily in order, but you want to kick us off?
I would love to, sir.
All right, let's hear it.
Well, first, let me bring up the movie so I can get a little bit of the notes. But for the first movie, for the best of the 90s, my favorite of the 90s, however you want to look at it, I'm going to go with a movie that I feel like it might be on both of our lists.
Okay.
Jurassic Park. Is it on your list?
It's not on my list.
Oh, snap!
It's not on my list.
Well, this movie came out
It's a
in
great movie.
this movie came out in 1993, and bro, I just came from Orlando Universal Studios. I just came from Jurassic Park 2, so I just got a little bit of that nostalgia kick. But like I said, this movie came out in 1993. It's a timeless classic starring Laura Dern, Jeff Goldblum, Sam Neill, amongst others. Directed by the GOAT, Steven Spielberg.
He has a legitimate claim.
Yeah,
for
really.
sure.
He's if this was a bracket, he's definitely rocking that number one seed for sure. But Jurassic Park, it's a timeless classic. It still holds up to this day. For some reason, I thought this movie got released in 95, but nope, got released in 93, which makes it even better.
Yeah.
But it spawned a very successful franchise
That has outlived its welcome.
the Jurassic Park, the first one is great, and then the sequels kind of go back downhill. Jurassic Park 3 is okay.
Yeah.
Jurassic World I thought was like not too bad, and then the Jurassic World sequels kind of like spiral out of control a little bit. But at least for this original classic, it is such a banger. Even when you get to the kids scenes with like the raptors and everything, it still holds up to this day.
Clever. He's a clever girl.
And then you even got let me bring him up. What's his name? His real name is Wayne Knight. He plays Dennis Nedry. He's the guy that gets killed in the little porta potty. Or no, he's not. Did he get killed in the porta potty? No, he gets killed by the
The ones that spit the acid.
spit that shit. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Newman?
Yeah, Newman.
From fucking
Yeah.
Seinfeld.
Oh my god, man.
Yeah.
Oh, and
a young Samuel Jackson.
And Samuel Jackson's in this shit too. Bro, this movie's such a classic. It is a banger. I mean, I don't know who hasn't seen Jurassic Park. I think when anybody thinks of even when think of like the effects and movies that's had lasting impacts in the effects department.
The animatronics.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park is definitely one of the top movies in that realm. I don't know who hasn't seen it, but if you haven't seen Jurassic Park, go check it out. It is a endless classic. You can watch it to the end of time. Check it out.
Yo, I'm curious how it did at the box office. Damn. So 63 mil was the budget, and it did just over. It cleared $1 billion.
It did do, Billy?
Yep.
Nice.
I mean,
And it got
this is just an iconic movie. I mean, it's fucking Library of Congress. It's in the they deemed it culturally, historically, and aesthetically significant. So I mean,
bro, you could play that score. That's and everybody just knows like where you're like dun, 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 dun.
John Williams.
Oh, bro, you're like I'm here.
The GOAT, John Williams.
Welcome to the world of Jurassic Park. You're like, holy shit. Then he obviously with the Academy Awards that it's won, man, you can't say enough good things about this movie. I thought this would make your list,
dude.
But now I don't think we're gonna have anything that matches.
Dude, this list was. There's so many great movies, and that's one of them that did not make my list. But yeah, it's an iconic movie. Yeah.
Well, I think that's why this list is going to be so good because it's such a vast area to cover.
Yeah.
And we're going to have different ones. And even, I think on the 2025 or the 2020s, we only had Oppenheimer that crossed over.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I thought this would cross over a bit.
Man.
But now, man, this is going to make it real fun. So I'm interested to see where we go.
I knew it was going to be. I knew our list would vary, but just right out of the gate, Pulp Fiction, Quentin Tarantino. This movie just elevated him to a whole nother level. This movie stars John Travolta, Samuel Jackson, Bruce Willis, Ving Rhames, Uma Thurman. Yeah, dude. I love this movie. We reviewed this. I saw it when it was showing in theaters here. I think it was last fall. This movie is so much fun. Highly rewatchable. Dark as fuck. I love the storytelling, giving us the story out of order. It's like a puzzle piece we're putting together. The screen chemistry, the dialogue is just fucking so much fun. I mean, I'm just thinking there's so many iconic movies, Be Cool Honey Bunny, you will know my name is the Lord.
And I like how it's the non-linear storytelling as well with it. Like even the characters from like Ving Rhames, even like the crazy scene when like he's about to get fucking just I'm not even gonna say he got graped.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, bro!
Fucking Zed.
It's easily one of Tarantino's best movies. I mean, he doesn't have a vast filmography, but he has a very good filmography.
I ain't through with you by damn sight. I'm gonna get medieval on your ass. Oh man, dude. I mean, this movie is just legendary at this point. I think this is one of those movies where it's you can't tell the story of the 90s without mentioning this movie. And this movie just dropped in 1994. This movie gave us so many great movies, from Forrest Gump to The Professional to The Lion King. Dude, Dumb and Dumber, fucking Ace Ventura, The Mask. 1994 is the year of Carrie. That's what we can just call that.
Yeah.
But this year alone would be worthy of reviewing movies. Little Giants. Come on.
Man. The Icebox.
Dude, Natural Born Killers. Dude, yeah, this year was just stacked.
Yeah.
But that's my first of my top 5. Back to you.
All right, number 2 on the list. Like we said, this is no particular order. This is just the best 5. We are going with Goodfellas.
Ooh.
1990.
Hey.
Directed by the great Scorsese, another wealthy competitor for the best directors of all time.
Yep.
But starring Ray Liotta, Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci, Lorraine Bracco, Paul
Samuel
Sorvino.
Jackson's actually in this movie.
In Goodfellas?
Yeah. He has a cameo in this movie. He doesn't have a big. I mean, he doesn't have a big role. But
Oh shit! Yeah, well, he plays some dude named Parnell Stacks.
Yep.
Damn, Samuel Jackson really is in every fucking thing,
Bro.
dude. Every movie that we've listed so far, Samuel Jackson is in. So far, at least it's only been 3.
Yeah.
But Jurassic Park, Pulp Fiction, and then Samuel Jackson.
Damn.
I wonder how long this streak can continue. This Samuel Jackson
Yo,
streak.
facts.
And that's hilarious. But this movie is a fantastic movie for me. It's one of the best like crime movies or mobster type movies. It could go and maybe can't knock out the great Godfather out of the race, but Goodfellas is towards the top as far as like mobster movies. And you're getting like some people at their best with De Niro, Pesci, and
Liotta, for sure.
And like just Scorsese. We all know like Scorsese and Leo, but it's Scorsese and De Niro first. And even you could throw Joe Pesci in that too with like the Casino days. Goodfellas is like you get some great acting, especially from Liotta, especially when like he's paranoid as fuck.
Oh yeah, when he's driving, he's looking at that helicopter.
Oh my god! Or even Lorraine in like that fucking eerie scene when like she almost gets got because De Niro's telling her like, yeah, there's some people down that aisle. Like yeah, down there, and she's like, no. Like so, she got a good head on her shoulders. Oh, but then Joe Pesci, like, I mean, this movie came out in 1990. We're not giving out any spoilers right now, but the way Joe Pesci gets got, or the way he does the scene with
he walks
Liotta.
into the room.
God, or he even shoots old boy Christopher Moltisanti from Sopranos. What's his real name? Michael Imperioli.
It's like Spider or something like that.
Yeah,
in the
Spider.
Show? Yeah.
God, like Joe
Why don't
Pesci's
you go fuck
just
yourself, Tommy.
He's a fucking complete hothead throughout this movie.
Oh, yeah.
But he's one of the highlights of this movie.
He's you're just a funny guy.
Like, what do I mean I'm funny?
It's
huh?
so funny. How am I funny?
And dude, that spawned
Such a tense scene.
Yeah, super tense. And that has spawned now like a endless GIF.
Oh yeah.
For years to come.
Oh, I don't know. You know. You said it. How am I supposed to know?
How am I
How
funny?
the fuck am I funny? Oh my god, man! Such a fucking great scene.
And I'll give you guys a little bit of a hint. This ain't the first time Joe Pesci's going to pop up on my list. So heads up for the Pesci.
I already know the next one now.
The Pesci clock. But 1990 Goodfellas, it's a timeless classic as well. Just like all these movies are going to be. This is the 90s. This is some of the best film you're ever going to see. But number 2 is on my list, Goodfellas. What about you, sir?
Man, you know what's coming. Shawshank Redemption dropped in 1994. Directed by Frank Darabont.
I think it's only proper it had to be on somebody's list.
Yo, starring Tim Robbins, Morgan Freeman, fucking William Sadler, Bob Gunton. Yo, the list goes on. This movie is a tearjerker. I love this movie. It's iconic. It's a beautiful story that I think at its core is about friendship and the redemption that they help the other achieve over the course of their sentences. And the way that it ends is just, it's so fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not only one of the greatest prison movies ever made, it's also one of the greatest dramas ever made. Highly recommended if you haven't seen it.
And people have already said like it's art. Like when you think of like perfect movies, like I don't necessarily believe maybe there's a perfect movie because you could also like find like nitpicks and things. But all in all, like if there is a perfect movie, this is up there on that list. So for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we did Oscar snubs in terms of best picture, and this year Forrest Gump won. And Forrest Gump is a great movie in its own right. I'm not trying to shit on it. I like that movie. It's a kind of a guilty pleasure, though, if I'm being honest. But Pulp Fiction and Shawshank are far better than that movie. It's not even close to me. Yeah. But yeah, Shawshank Redemption, beautiful movie, great story, great acting, great screen chemistry, great score. It's just a phenomenal movie, and that's my second movie on my list.
God, and what do they say? Like he crawled through how much shit?
Like what was it? Like a few football fields of shit.
How bad you want your freedom?
And came out clean.
Oh man. All right, man. Number 3 on my list. I told you to get the Joe Pesci clock ready. We're going to start that at number 2 with the Pesci meter. Number 3 on my list, we are going with Home Alone 2. Lost in New York, baby! Starring the great Macaulay Culkin, the hilarious Daniel Stern, Joe Pesci, like I said, John Hurt, Tim Curry, directed by Chris Columbus. This movie is a Christmas classic. It has been since it came out, and it will be until the end of time. Mm-hmm. To me,
if I have anything to say about it,
I watch this every year around Christmas time. I've loved this movie since I was a kid, and it's not aged a day. The jokes are still fantastic. The traps are like, I mean,
even better.
Yeah, like I mean, you can argue that like whether Home Alone is better than Home Alone 2 because Home Alone 2 is just a kind of a beat for beat remake or reboot, whatever. Oh, not reboot, but just remake. Or
both movies have a good argument as being the best of the franchise.
Yeah,
I mean,
but like
they're both excellent.
It's like which one do I want to watch? I find like some of the side characters are a little bit better in Home Alone 2.
And the world is expanded because it's in New York, so that adds more fun to it too.
You're getting a little bit of Rob Schneider now, Tim Curry with like the people in the hotel. You're getting just Curry. The ambiance of New York. Even like the bird lady might be a little bit better than the old man.
The shovel.
Yeah, and the traps to me just are just... The stakes have risen. These guys die multiple times throughout this movie. Kevin McAllister has committed murder throughout this movie. I don't know how many times, like 30 times easily. But this movie is a classic, Christmas classic, family classic. The wet bandits. Did you leave the sink running again? Like that's
You're sick, Marv.
STII. Bro, shoot her. I'm trying to shoot her, bro. I could even like this is one of those movies that I could probably quote from front to back and back to front. I'll say classic 1,000 more times about this movie.
It is,
and it's funny too. Like when you think of like you go from Goodfellas to this movie with Joe Pesci. I think that shows his range, and then also with like a My Cousin Vinny, he could show that he could do some serious shit, some crazy sadistic stuff. Or he could do some family stuff, or he could just do some cool, funny, like, I'm not sure what his character was, but he just played the lawyer. He was Vinny.
Yeah.
So Joe Pesci, I don't think gets enough credit, but Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, that's my number 3 of best movie of the 90s. And the money it made was ridiculous.
Interesting. Okay.
28 million budget. Almost 360 in the box office, not bad. And Macaulay Culkin still cashing them residuals.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's interesting. I'll see your Goodfellas, and I'll see your Home Alone 2 Pesci, and I'll raise you Casino Pesci. 1995's
the Pesci clock at 3.
Crime drama. Starring Robert De Niro, Sharon Stone. I fucking love this movie. It was probably my favorite double VHS as a kid. This movie, really revolves around De Niro's character Sam, who is working for the Chicago mob. They send him out to Vegas to really run the day-to-day and making sure that they get their cut, that the flow of money is still coming through. And made man Joe Pesci and his brother end up moving out there to really be the muscle and make sure everything goes smooth. And then from there, everything doesn't go smooth. This movie is very much feels like a Shakespearean kind of tragedy where we see these two friends build up Vegas and the pipeline of money from there. You see them build up this empire, and then you see them tear it down, and at large part because of Sharon Stone's character, the woman that comes between them. I mean, there's so many. I don't know that this movie has many iconic lines, but there are some scenes in this movie that will stay with me forever. When Joe Pesci and his brother are taken out to the cornfields, and we're thinking they're just meeting up to talk, and they end up getting beaten, not to death, but they end up getting beaten with these bats and buried alive. Yeah. That scene was just very scarring. But then you have that really great scene where De Niro and Pesci's characters meet out in the desert, and all we see is Joe Pesci's, who plays a very imposing role in this movie, despite his stature. You see through the reflection of De Niro's shades, Pesci's car speeding, zooming towards him, and the cloud right behind him in the desert. And we're hearing this narration of De Niro where he's saying, I felt like I had a 50-50 chance of, leaving the desert alive. There's a lot of dead bodies buried out here. And with Nikki, it's hard to tell. Yeah. And so, it's just a beautifully executed movie.
Dude, I've never seen Casino.
Oh, my God, dude. Oh, fuck. I feel bad for saying what shit.
I've only... No, it's all good. Because by the time it won't even, resonate. Yeah, I got to watch this movie, man. Cause I always want to end up watching it, but I think maybe just because of Scorsese movies I like Goodfellas too, but always seeing that damn near 3-hour marker is always like ooh, shit. It's a little bit to get through, but I know it's going to be enjoyable because I love these types of movies. Scorsese can't go wrong. Got De Niro, Pesci, like you said, Sharon Stone. This movie's excellent. It's on Peacock right now, so I definitely should give it a watch.
Oh, nice. Yeah, dude. I mean, I love this movie, but that's my third movie on the list.
Man, I'm just kind of, before I get into that movie, I'm just looking at the bottom up here. Did you see The Irishman?
I did.
How was that really? I only saw that part where De Niro's character is doing that beating with that little, because it was he was de-aged. It was about that store dude that ended up ended his daughter or something like that. It looked very odd.
It didn't look good.
And the movie is
looked frail
super long. It's like I said, Casino always kind of gets me with 3 hours, and this is 3.5.
I think The Irishman was okay. I liked some of it, some of that movie, but this is far better. I think when people talk about some of his best movies, I mean, Taxi Driver, Goodfellas, Wolf of Wall Street, Departed. I feel like those are some of. I mean, those are some of his higher end movies. The Irishman, and even honestly, Killers of the Flower Moon. Yeah, I think Killers of the Flower Moon was better, but
still falls.
I wasn't as big. It's not my favorite.
Yeah, it doesn't hit the like I said the high notes of his great movies.
Yeah, definitely agree with that.
All right. We're coming towards the tail end of this list. These are our final two each. And I know this one, people are probably going to be like, what the fuck? But
is it nostalgia?
It's super nostalgia, man. Right. The nostalgia train is heavily driving this car. We are talking, I will say nostalgia, and it's just really funny to me. I'm going with 1995 Heavyweights.
I'm not surprised. I was actually thinking that as you were talking. That's a great comedy, and it's that's Disney, right?
Yeah. And it's directed by Steven Brill, But I want to say like Ben Stiller also had a hand in like the writing aspect on this. But like Ben Stiller doesn't get enough credit like in the comedy realm. He's getting some flowers right now for that show Severance that he's created, which rightfully so. Like I haven't checked that out yet, but
Wait, hold up. Ben
Stiller.
Stiller did Severance? Mm-hmm. He's he a director, writer? What's his
I think
producer?
all above.
Damn.
Yeah.
I did not know he was tied to that project. I've heard nothing but great things about that show.
Yeah, I kind of want to give it a shot, but like, there's so many good shows right now.
It's a commitment.
It's hard to keep up. But Heavyweights is such a classic, man. I saw this when I was a kid, and even like when I was younger, I wasn't like heavy like these guys are heavy, but it was just so fun, like just seeing like a fat camp, and even Kenan Thompson, you're seeing
Goldberg,
Sean Wise from like the Mighty Ducks, man. Judd Apatow's in this. Didn't even realize that. But this movie, like I said, is super nostalgia. The comedy is great, man. Even when like they have the scene of like the kids getting on the scale, and Ben Stiller's just like,
Get off the
"All
scale."
right, get on the scale, get off the scale." And then he's like, "Turn the cameras off."
Oh man, he's like, please put your fat finger down. You've broken my camera.
They tie him to a fucking tree and they start smearing honey on him. He's like, "I want to help you." Like, bro, this movie is hilarious.
Yo, I love the dance scene where they're playing Macho Man, and Lars was feeling it.
Bro, that's when he was.
Yo, I swear he looked like
losing.
Val Kilmer to me as a kid. He looked like Val Kilmer.
I can see that, yeah.
I was like, he totally. I was like, is that Val Kilmer?
I can easily see that.
Yeah.
And then another highlight of that movie too for me is when the kid gets introduced to all the other cast and all the other bunkmates, and then he tells Sean Wise's character Josh that Josh was bad, bro. But like, he tells Josh that he's like, "Man, don't tell anybody, but I snuck in a couple of Oreos," and he's like, "Wow. That was very bad of you." And he's like, "Chipmunks, assemble," or something. He does his Captain America assemble moment, and all the kids start just unleashing all the fucking candy and food that they have snuck into the camp, bro. It's a great, funny
It is a fun-ass
movie,
movie.
man.
Remember the Blob, like the fucking.
Dude, even when they had like the video of them killing the blob.
Oh yeah.
And they have Josh eating the rat. Oh my god, dude.
Oh yeah, when they had the video for the parents.
Yeah.
to watch.
And you just see Ben Stiller's comedy too, like him just slowly going, like he's trying to help the kids, but then he just slowly loses his mind, and by the end of the movie, he's completely nuts.
Mm-hmm.
He even plays like his dad. He plays like dual roles. He has like the makeup on and everything. But then you get Jerry Stiller as well and his wife in this movie, which I love Jerry Stiller even from his King of Queen days. Heavyweights from 1995. If you haven't seen it, definitely give it a shot. It's a nice family comedy, but it definitely hits you in the feels for sure.
Okay, man. Well, so this is kind of. I mean, that's kind of a coming of age movie. So, with that, I'll give my next movie. And that's Dazed and Confused, dropped in 1993, directed by Richard Linklater. Man, this movie has such a great. Cast. I was gonna say, you've got Matthew McConaughey. All right. Ben Affleck. Then you have some Parker Posey. Then you have some Mila Jovovich. This is such. I mean, to me, like this is one of my favorite movies ever. But I think this movie reminds me a little bit of like what I love so much about The Breakfast Club. But it expanded that world beyond just the detention hall.
Yeah.
Like you're seeing like a day in the life, the last day of the school year, summer break is starting, and we see this, we're very much a part of that community. We're seeing the hazing of the 8th graders as they're going into high school, same with the girls, the hazing with the mustard and ketchup getting all over them. And then, these seniors, soon-to-be seniors, getting their licks in with the paddles. It's just a fun movie, man. The soundtrack is really dope. Kind of reminds me of in terms of how fun it is and how it matches the vibe of the movie. Definitely reminds me a little bit of how the Guardians use the music. Yeah. But again, this one is very much a period piece. So you're getting, you got War on there, Alice Cooper, Black Sabbath. I think you have some ZZ Top on there. So it's just like very much I think Kiss. I think is also on that one. It's just a fun movie, man. Highly recommended. It's a classic.
That soundtrack is out of control, man.
Were you surprised that was on my list?
Dude, I totally forgot about Dazed and Confused.
I know,
and,
right?
I was thinking of Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Oh.
I feel like they're very like akin to each other.
I've never seen that one.
Yeah,
Sean Penn and
because it's another just like a kind of a coming of age type of story, and just like a day in the life of these high schoolers and just kind of what they're going through of just like their hormones and shit like that.
If you like Superbad, if folks out there and you haven't seen this movie, if you like Superbad, this is a even better version of that. Yeah, and I love Superbad.
I think if you like those type of like even like where it's like maybe like I said, coming of age, teen type of story, comedy where it like
70s.
gets like super raunchy too. It's like this movie is like towards the top of like those lists. Like I said, like Superbad, Fast Times at Ridgemont High,
House Party. It's up there with like to me like those types of like really great coming of age movies.
Yeah, and it's spawned Matthew McConaughey's career and like his legendary all right, and like it's a legendary movie. So
I love redheads. He's also a creeper in this movie. If I'm being honest, though.
I mean I didn't even want to say the creeper line.
The lines he had were crazy. Also, Cole Hauser, I think is his name. He's been in quite a few movies. He was in Pitch Black. He was in Good Will Hunting. He's been in some really dope movies. He's also in Too Fast, Too Furious. He's also in Yellowstone, which I didn't realize. But yeah, that's my fourth movie.
Another chick that's in that movie too. Her name's Joey Lauren Adams.
Oh yeah,
she was in a bunch of like 90 movies too, like Chasing Amy, Big Daddy.
That's right, Big Daddy.
Mallrats, Biodome. So Chasing, I already said Chasing Amy, but like she was like such a staple for like those 90 type of movies, especially like in those Kevin Smith movies.
She usually played like the love interest.
Yeah, I think I first saw her in Biodome. I think that's where I first saw her.
Oh man, Biodome.
1996, another classic that I came across. And I was like, I like Biodome, but it's not gonna be on my list at all.
Yo, that has a 4% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Does it?
Yeah. 51 from the fans.
I don't know if I'd give it a thumbs up or not. It's it would definitely go into the guilty pleasure realm.
Yeah, I can see that. But I haven't seen it in so long. I wonder if I would feel that way now.
Yeah, really. I don't want to get into Biodome, but but that is I remember that movie being kind of funny. But we have come to the end of the list.
All right, man.
Last one. I wanted to say the last one for the banger.
All right.
We are going with Terminator 2.
Okay. That's the one I was confident would be on your list.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Terminator 2. Hold on. Let me bring that up real quick.
Phenomenal movie.
Yeah, really. Terminator 2 came out in 1991. Directed by James Cameron, one of the GOATs as well, that could go head to head with some of them. Starring Edward Furlong, Linda Hamilton, Robert Patrick, the great Arnold Schwarzenegger, Joe Morton, Danny Cooksey. This movie just had a lot to live up to because Terminator is such a classic as well. And if even Terminator, I don't think anybody will fight me on that movie feels like a horror movie.
Yes.
It has horror aspects to it throughout that whole movie. From beginning to end, and this movie is doing something different. Is definitely genre switching a bit. They're bringing back some of the cast though, but they're upping the stakes in every way since they're especially going action heavy this time. This is one of those lists where like I'm not even gonna like say it surpasses the original because I love the original too. But if you're saying Terminator 2 is better than the original, I wouldn't bat an eye. Yeah, but I wouldn't bat an eye or like in either way, shape, or form. But this movie is another classic as well. Robert Patrick plays such a great villain as the T-1000.
No, the visuals of it too still look good.
Still look amazing. Like this is like with like Jurassic Park as like one of like the two that's even like Matrix as well that got released in the 90s as far as like some of those 90 movies that is a trendsetter for special effects that still holds up to this day. And you're also getting Schwarzenegger. He doesn't play the villain this time. This time he's the protector. And like I said, Robert Patrick plays an excellent villain. He's such a menace and he's so just fucking evil through this. Like he just doesn't stop at all. Even, like up until like the very end when he meets the the volcanic lava, whatever you want to call that shit. But
There's some great kill scenes in this movie too. I mean, whether it's when he kills the stepdad, that was a really dope scene where he kills a security guard. Dude, even fucking even the Terminator's death at the end was just fucking.
Oh, bro, that's still kind of like gets like what like. I know, bro, like it's the score and everything.
Don't go.
And like you could just see how much he means to him, and like those like moments with like lost parents and stuff like that. Like when you see like that stuff when it's done right. It hits you, man.
Yo, now I know why you cry. I'm like,
no matter what it is, like whether it's like robots or like an animated movie like Coco, it's like when emotion is done right and it hits you, man. It hits you, man. And Terminator 2 is one of those movies like we recently reviewed Top Gun that will be coming out pretty soon. But it's one of these Terminator 2, I feel like is a movie that touches on comedy, action, a little bit of the drama and the feels and the emotion and the heart. Like, it touches so many different quadrants in my eyes. So Terminator 2. And like, let's just say the budget of how much money did this movie make?
A lot.
I'll have to bring that up eventually. But I'm sure this movie made, let's see, box office. So a budget of $100 million made $517 million. So,
and the merch, man. I remember having toys from this movie.
Yeah.
I remember the games. Dude, I mean, the way that it starts off too, like Bad to the Bone, where he walks in to the into like the dive bar, and he said, "I can't let you take the man's bike," and he fucking snatches the shotgun, walks up. Takes the shades out of his pocket. Oh, yeah.
Dude. And like I said, we mentioned like the chase scenes as well, whether it's like him driving on the motorcycle with John Connor on the back, or the T-1000 and the fucking like the semi truck, or him chasing John Connor on the motorcycle. Dude, and they actually showed I remember watching it behind the scenes. And Robert Patrick was like really running his ass down, and John Connor said like he really had to crank that bike because he was hauling ass, and that just shows you the kind of shape that Robert Patrick was in at that time. Like my God, but Terminator 2, such a classic. If you haven't seen it, which I think everybody's seen this classic by now, but one of the best movies of the 90s, easily by the great James Cameron.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, I remember last year. OMSI was having the sci-fi movie festival, and they showed this. I saw it on the big screen. I'd never seen it on the big screen. It's such a great movie to see. But they're actually the sci-fi movie fest is happening again right now at OMSI, and I think they're one of the days they're going to show Terminator and then Terminator 2 back to back, and they're also doing that with Dune 1 and Dune 2.
Yeah, I saw that.
So if you guys are in the area, definitely check out. The lineup there, it's really fun way to watch movies. They're showing Looper, which is another great sci-fi movie in my opinion. Great cast: Bruce Willis, Joseph Gordon-Levitt. But yeah, really fun lineup. So definitely check that out if you have a chance.
Man, I would like to see Terminator. I would actually watch that Terminator and Terminator 2 because I haven't seen that on the big screen like you mentioned. That would actually be interesting to watch. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah. All right, so
your last one, man.
Man, the last one. Show me the money.
Jerry Maguire?
Jerry Maguire, man. 1996 in the house. Directed and written by Cameron Crowe, starring Tom Cruise, Cuba Gooding Jr., Renee Zellweger, Regina King, the legend as well. Man, I love this movie. It was nominated for 5 Academy Awards, Best Picture, Best Actor, and Cuba walked away with the Best Supporting Actor. Very much well received, well earned, man. The screen chemistry between these two was so much fun. Rod Tidwell, played by Cuba, seeing them grow through their friendship, the Quan. The total package. And, Jerry, him, and just, seeing Jerry, have this kind of moment of clarity conscience-wise, and he writes this memo about really kind of getting back to the essence of what it is that we're supposed to do in this line of work. Jerry, meaning, from Jerry's POV. And it cost him his career. it cost him his position at his firm, at his agency, and so he has to. I mean, and this happens very quickly in the movie. So he is essentially climbing himself out of this hole, and the only person who stuck by him, the only athlete he's representing, is Cuba Gooding Jr. And that moment, there's some really great scenes where he is talking on the line with Rod Tidwell, who's convinced, and understandably, that he hasn't gotten what his talent deserves in terms of his salary or his contract. And we see all the other people who are dropping like flies, his other clients, and it's just such a great story. Easily one of my favorite movies from that era.
Man, we, like I mentioned earlier, we did a review of Top Gun with Tom Cruise.
Mm-hmm.
Top Gun Maverick, to be more specific. That's going to be coming out soon. And you mentioned that that obviously Tom Cruise nowadays has been like, he gets a lot of the notoriety for like his action stunts and things like that, but he doesn't get enough credit for like some of the drama that he got done in his early career. And Jerry Maguire is probably one of his highlighted moments of like some of his best drama that he's done.
Definitely.
So,
yeah.
But that's also like this. Like I said, another movie that I still haven't seen all the way through. It's a movie that I've just seen in like short clips and here and there. Like it's a movie that I'll just turn on when like if I saw it like on TV and stuff like that. This is a movie I need to sit down and actually watch from beginning to end because I just haven't done it. So I definitely got to get that done.
Yeah, but those are our 5 movies. Yeah, man, thank you for joining us this week. This was a fun conversation. This was a tough process of narrowing these down. And, I mean, dude, I even mentioned, New Jack City, which was a hard movie to keep off this list. High Fidelity was also a tough one to keep off this list. But, yeah, man, thank you for joining us. What were you say?
I was just about to just like reiterate this, like, yeah, like, You even mentioned like all the Jim Carrey movies, all the hitters that he's put out. There's just I've just come across like even the other Tarantino movies, even some of like the horror movies that's come out that year, like Silence of the Lamb. A True Romance that I thought was like super fun.
True Romance.
The 90s is easily one of the best eras in movies.
Toy Story.
Yeah. Toy Story. That was a movie that I remember when I was a kid.
Matrix. Fuck.
Yeah. When Toy Story came out, I was like, me and my brother was just going head to head, like, who could watch this the most? Because we both loved Toy Story when it came out.
Dude, another movie I don't think we even mentioned, Fight Club.
Yeah, dude, that and I've been seeing a lot of shorts recently for that, and I was like, God, I gotta rewatch this movie. You mentioned, I'm not sure if you mentioned Leon the Professional.
Yeah,
even
we did,
like
yeah.
Three Kings.
Oh man, dude, a movie that also I think deserves to be shout out because it is a pretty iconic movie. Thelma and Louise.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, like.
And we. I mean, well, more recently that since even like Val Kilmer like has passed away, but just reiterate that like he was such a main staple in like in the 90s and some of like the movies that he's done.
Tombstone.
Yeah, exactly. Or like say whether it's the
Heat.
Batman, Heat. He's been in such like great movies. So rest in peace to the fallen soldier of Val Kilmer.
Yep. All right. Thank you for joining us this week, and we'll catch y'all next time.
Peace.